Welcome to Pilates and Yoga for Parkinson's and for anyone else that would like to attend. Thank you for joining me at the door frame today. I'm continuing to search out places that are safe to exercise in the home and trying to be kind of creative. I've had a lot of fun exploring the door frame. There's a lot you can do here using the door frame or not. So if you have some exercises, some yoga poses that you would like to be doing but are scared to do them in the middle of the room, come to the middle of your doorway. To start, as we always do, we're gonna find our alignment. So your feet are probably about a fist width, 2 fist widths apart, and the reason for that is if your feet are right beside each other, you just don't have much of a base. So if you take the feet a little bit wider apart, you have a strong foundation. We're pressing the feet down into the floor, reaching the crown of the head high, and just that motion, you may already feel your center start to engage. Those general rules of alignment, rules is strong. Let's say guidelines. Ears over shoulders, over rib cage, over pelvis, which is then over the heels, because we've got, remember, that little bend in the knees. And it really is little, because more than you finding a bend, I want you to make sure you're not locking your knees out, which my knees don't really lock out. Some people can almost like kind of hyperextend back. And the moment you do that, you're really doing some wacky things to the tilt of your pelvis and your ability to have a strong, safe alignment. So once we've got all that going, maybe hanging onto the door frame, maybe not. Let's go ahead and close the eyes. And just give ourselves a few moments to kind of let go of whatever we were doing before joining this video. And not be thinking about what we're going to do later, but just being right here. Maybe taking several intentionally fuller breaths. So inhaling and really feel the breath come into the body, expand the torso, maybe the belly a bit. And then exhaling and keeping that long spine, but just letting there be a bit of ease throughout the body. Several breaths like that. And then allow the breath to be whatever feels natural right now. And take your awareness back to your body and feeling your alignment right now. So feel pressing the feet down, that rebound effect of growing tall. Feel the bend in the knees. Feel the strength in your center. Allow the shoulders to be more part of the back of the body. So not at all rounding forward, but just gently sliding the shoulders toward the back. And crown of the head reaching high. From there, let's go ahead and blink open the eyes. So if you've never exercised in a doorway, I want you just to play around for a moment. We'll start with the hands, depending on how big of a person you are or tiny of a person. Let's just have one hand on, like my left hand's on the door frame. My right hand, I'm going to play with sliding and reaching up. So that's a pretty big shoulder movement. And let's just do several of those. You could even, keeping your shoulders squared forward, you could look over to that right hand, and as it's sliding up and down the door frame, let the eyes follow it. So the chin's lifting and lowering, and we're getting some movement in the neck as well. And the next time that hand comes down, we'll let it come all the way down. Again, holding onto the door frame if that feels better for you. Now the left hand, so I'm still staying squared forward. I'm just going to turn through the neck, looking at the left hand, slide that hand up, and then back down. And then I'm just watching the hand as I let the chin lower and then lift back up. Awesome. Next time that hand comes down, let's let it stay down and we'll look straight ahead again. You can also just, again, the idea of playing for a moment. Maybe hang on to the door frame. Make sure you've got a pretty good grip and you decide where you want to grip. And you could just let your weight go back. Got a little bend in my knees. I'm stretching through the back of the body. Pulling myself up. Then take the hands to the opposite side of the door frame and you can lean forward. So my weight's coming forward. Big stretch through the shoulders and the chest. Awesome. Bring that back. And I know a lot of you guys are doing like maybe the boxing classes, dance classes, cycling, which are all fabulous, really active forms of exercise, but you also need the stretching and the balance. So this is a great place to play around with that. Let's step over closer to one side of the door frame. And I've got my right hand here on the wall as I stepped to the left. I'm gonna bring that left hand back up to the wall again. And then with my feet stable, take that left hand and could you reach it over to the right door frame? Maybe you even press that left side of your body into the door frame. You might explore looking up to the top of the door frame. So big side body stretch. You could turn your head side to side, checking out what's going on in the neck. Nice. Looking straight ahead, bring the left hand back. Let's come back to center. Step over towards the right side of the door. So I've got my hand, left hand on the door frame for support. Right hand's gonna slide up. I'm pressing my hip towards the door frame. Right hand is just gonna sweep across. Maybe it reaches all the way over to the left side. Maybe it doesn't quite make it, but you're still reaching long and finding that stretch. You might look up towards the door frame. Several breaths here. Looking wherever feels best on your neck. So just be aware of what's going on in your body. Nice, we're gonna bring that back to center. We'll step back to center. Hands down by the sides, and let's just do a few shoulder circles after that. So you really don't need to come and watch this video all the time to get that good side body stretching. You can do that at any time. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to bring my right foot, actually that's my left foot. I'm going to bring my left foot all the way over to the door frame. So the edge of my foot's up against the door. I'm going to take my right foot, externally rotate at the hip, so now my toes are pointed towards the opposite door frame, and you could even put the toes up on the door frame if that was a good toe stretch for you. Might not feel good, so you decide. And all we're going to do just to work on opening these hips up a little bit is just lean into that knee and then straighten. So several of those. So we're kind of in a warrior two shape, but a tiny warrior two. You don't want to let the knee go all the way to the door frame because that's just putting your knee in kind of a compromising position. If you watch the video of doing warrior poses at the kitchen counter, it's a great place to do them because your foot can kind of slide under the counter. So each time you bend into this knee, I want you to work on that external rotation, which means you're kind of trying to get your knee to go out towards the pinky toe, and we're opening up this hip. Nice. Okay, next time you straighten that leg, let's turn the right foot forward, scooch it over to the wall. Gotta do the same thing with that left foot. So I'm externally rotating at the hip. I'm trying to keep my right half of my pelvis still pointing pretty much forward. It's gonna turn in a little bit, that's okay. You decide the placement of those toes, maybe going up the door frame or not. And then several times that external rotation up at your hip, which turns your knee more towards your pinky toe, and several of those. Got this beautiful long spine. Belly is strong. Shoulders are a part of the back of the body. And we're just getting a little interesting movement in that hip. Nice. Okay, next time you straighten the leg, let's turn the hips forward and bring the feet in. From here, find your alignment again, nice and tall. I have a tendency to keep looking down at my feet. We all seem to do that when we're doing balance work. Let's step a little bit over to the left. If you can, without holding onto the wall anywhere, find that balance. And right now, your center of gravity is over both feet. I want you to shift your center over to the left so you can come up on the toes of the right foot. And when you do that, you're not doing it and letting your hip slide over. You're still up tall. My pelvis is level, so I didn't go here. I'm still up. I just came up on the toes, and my center shifted to the left a bit. I'm going to take my toes out to the side and several times back to that external rotation at the hip and then back in. External rotation and back in. Lots happening in the hip. Maybe you have the hand on the wall. Little bend in the left knee. Nice. It's kind of like I'm in a pair of high heels here with that heel lifted. Last time, bring that heel down, toes come to the front. Let's scooch over to the other side, gonna do the same thing. So I'm balanced on both feet, gonna shift over to the right, not with my hips, but my whole body shifted over to the right. I'm up on the toes of my left foot. I'm gonna hang onto the wall. That left foot's coming out to the side, and I'm doing that rotation again. Left knee comes forward, left knee goes out to the side. And you might be able to feel all that stuff going on in there. Belly is strong, spine is long. Nice. Next time the knee is out to the side, bring that heel down, and then pointing forward again. So what we've been doing is we are preparing ourselves for tree pose, which I know in class quite a few of you really enjoy, and I think the door frame is the best place to do it. So I'm standing pretty much in the center of the door frame, and you're just gonna have to play around with the size of your body where it makes the most sense to stand. Got that long alignment. I think I'm gonna start with just my hands down. Gonna come up on the toes of my right foot, which means my weight just shifted over to the left. I'm still pressing that left foot down. I'm growing really tall. I'm gonna externally rotate at the hip, and I've got my heel balanced right there on the inside of my left foot. I could have my hands at my heart. I could reach my hands up high. Could take them away from the wall. So this is kind of a prep pose for tree. Some of you might say, that's plenty for me, or maybe you say, I want more. So you could slide that right foot up to the left kind of calf area. And it's really important here, you're just firmly, but gently at the same time, pressing the right foot into the left calf, lower leg area, and that leg presses back into the foot. So lots of energy. My hips are super engaged. My belly is engaged. I'm balancing here. Maybe you have your hands on the wall. Maybe you slide the hands up high. Maybe you take the hands away from the wall. Breathing, shoulders out of the ears, long spine. At any point, you can put a hand on the wall. Do what you need to do here. Let's see if you can find 5 breaths. After your 5th breath, let's try and bring the hands to the heart. Maybe your hands are still on the wall. That is fine. And then we're just going to take that right knee and slowly bring it forward. Step the notice what you feel. Nice job. So you're using the door frame as much or as little as you need to. Let's get that other side. Standing tall, balanced on both feet. Shift over to the right a bit so you can come up on the toes of the left foot. When you're ready, you'll externally rotate that left knee. Start with the heel of the left foot just planted into that right leg. Check your alignment, check your balance. Hands maybe on the wall, maybe at the heart. You play with this, find your thing. You might say, I want more, and you slide that foot up. So now my foot's pressing in to my calf. I got a little wobbling going on. But you guys know me, I love some wobbling. Every time you wobble, muscles are working. Maybe those hands go high. Maybe they're on the wall. Maybe they're away. Shoulders out of the ears. Long spine. So we still want that great alignment. We're just challenging it by going into tree pose. After your 5 breaths, we're going to work on sweeping that knee back to the front. Foot to the floor. Hands wherever makes sense. A couple of breaths here. I'm going to do that one more time on each side, and I'm just going to show you real quickly a variety of options so you can do it however you want to. So our first option is the heel on the leg, which if your balance is really just challenged today, which definitely happens sometimes, that might be where you stay. Still a great balance pose, and if you're keeping your hips in, a lot of strength here, because a lot of the times we have a tendency to just slouch over to the side, but we're working on keeping all of that centered. We already explored this option. Another option for those of you that are more open through the hips, you might be able, I have to grab my foot, you could grab your foot and put it up on the inner thigh. Now, you're pressing the foot into the thigh into the foot. You do not want to put your foot on your knee, and that's because when we're doing that pressure, that would just really get your knee out of alignment. So your foot that comes up either needs to be up at the inner thigh or down on the calf or on the floor, but not on the knee. So the cool thing for me right now is, I need to actually scooch over a little bit. I can put my right knee on the wall, which is giving me a little extra support again. It's also helping me keep that knee kind of back, because the tendency is my knee wants to come in because I'm really tight through the inner thighs. So once I have found this, maybe I keep the knee on the wall, and then I can do all kinds of things with my hands. I could even go into a twist here. I'm all over the place, but it's because I'm being smart with my wall. Maybe I bring that knee away from the wall, and now I'm full balance, not touching anything. I could play with the arms going high. Oh, maybe I can do that twist now, but I don't think so. So just playing around and see what works for you. So those are your options. Some of you are probably already doing it, but I'm going to talk you through each side again, and then we'll wrap this up. So balance on both feet. And we're serious this time. So remember, when you're serious about balance, find something to focus on out in front of you that's not moving. So that means you're not focused on my video. You guys already know what we're doing. Maybe you're letting my voice guide you. Maybe you're already there. Whichever side you want to start with, you're going to shift over to the opposite side. Come up on the toes of the knee that's going to be lifted. Turn that knee out to the side so you're finding that external rotation. 2 legs are going to be different because of what's going on in the tightness in your pelvis or openness. You might stay right there and you're playing with the arms. Maybe you slide that foot up to the lower leg. Take a few breaths there. Might be using the wall, might not. Maybe you're really curious about bringing that leg up higher. If you do that, you might have to scooch away from the wall a bit. You could plant that knee into the wall. Gives you all kinds of stability. Allows you to play around with other movements with the arms. Maybe you don't want that knee on the wall, so you pull it away. Whatever option you've taken, when you find the fullest expression of your tree pose, could you find 5 breaths there? Long spine. Shoulders are part of the back of the body. Maybe just the tiniest little smile, if not on your face, kind of in your heart, as you do yoga in your doorway. Remember, when you're ready to come out with control, we're going to try to sweep that knee forward, a little extra challenge on the balance, and then allow that foot to go to the floor. A few breaths here. And let's go grab that other side, because I think I did this side twice, but you didn't. So shifting to the other side, you found your balance on both feet, shift over, come up on the toes, externally rotate at the hip so that knee sweeps out to the side. You're still tall here, don't let that hip kind of dislocate off to the side. This might be your tree on this side. Maybe you slide that foot up, picking your position for your arms. Maybe you've come out of the doorway. Maybe you've stepped forward a bit. You might not need the door frame. Maybe this is your more open side and you want to explore bringing the foot up to the inner thigh. Foot presses into the thigh, thigh presses into the foot. Maybe, maybe not. Knee on the door frame. Decide what you would like to do with your tree branches. Once you get settled, 5 breaths here. After that 5th breath, going to slowly come out of the pose. See if you could bring that knee around the front with lots of control. Foot to the floor. Hands wherever makes the most sense. Several breaths here. Beautiful. So, tree in the doorway. I can't encourage you enough. Find creative places in your home to exercise. Door frames, amazing, because you've got support all over. If you're really tall, you might even be able to support yourself with the top of the door frame. If you have watched the video with exercising at the door, we did the wall squats. You could do wall squats here as well, right? Your feet would step away from the wall. You've got your gorgeous alignment. You can slide down, hang out as long as you want to. It's cool here because my shoulders can kind of go back a little bit further because they're not running into the wall, so I really open my chest. Belly is strong. So just keeping that in mind, any of the videos you're watching to exercise at home, find places in your home that you can do them and be more supported. That's all for me today. Please check out some of the other videos that I've got, and maybe you'll find something that you really enjoy. Take care and have a great day.